Game review.
Days Gone released on April 26th, and there has been a lot of opinions online, so I thought I would add one more. Days Gone is an open-world zombie survival game that has you play as Deacon St. John, a biker who finds himself in this world. The game clearly takes inspiration from The Last of Us, everything from the font and the gun reticles to the way they name the zombies, but the more you play, the more the game is able to create a name for itself. The game's strong point is its storytelling, which is a rare sight in open world games. The main story keeps you interested without moving too slowly. I can't say the same about the side storylines though, as they get repetitive and add a regular amount of value to the story as a whole. To be fair, after playing Batman Arkham Knight, I don't know if any game will ever have better side missions than that game did, so my view of the side missions here might be a bit skewed. Let me put it this way. Batman Arkham Knight's side missions felt like story DLC that you would pay for most games. The game does a great job at establishing this post-apocalyptic setting, adding to the experience through ambient music and dynamic weather. The game does a good job at forcing you to strategize. Your bike has fuel, so you can't ride around forever. You're forced to look for some fuel around the world or buy some from various camps using your credits. Ammo is scarce, and melee weapons can break quickly. Characters in the game are basic though. Nothing too special besides a couple of ones you might remember. A big negative for me was the somewhat inconsistent voice acting and motivations from the main character. I can't exactly tell you who Deacon St. John is. If you give me a situation that involves a moral, logical, or any sort of decision, I can't tell you what he would do. This is partly due to the side missions and storylines that seemingly contradict the actions and train of thought that Deacon has throughout the main storyline. Deacon certainly doesn't measure up to strong, well-written characters including Nathan Drake, Joel from The Last of Us, John Marston, and Adam Jensen. Although I guess you make the decisions for Adam in his game, but you know what I mean. I will say that this feels more like a writing error than a bad voice actor. In terms of gameplay, the shooting mechanics are a bit wonky and feel like they belong in the PS2 era at times, but as you play and get used to it, it doesn't hinder your performance too much. Although I will say there is a skill that you can unlock in the skill tree that makes most gunfights really easy. I avoided purchasing the skill to keep it challenging, but you needed to purchase a lot of others. The melee combat is simple, but really makes you feel powerful when you time your dodges and attacks correctly. The hordes of zombies that were in the gameplay trailers are in the game as well. Probably my most memorable moment in the game was when I was fighting human enemies and a horde of zombies came rushing in on the other end, so I was caught in between the humans and the zombies and was overwhelmed. It really taught me that even on normal difficulty, you will encounter challenges. Now these are two things that really stood out to me. So many games, especially in recent years, promise so much that's not in the game. Whether it's how the game looks or mechanics that it has. Even the biggest companies lie about these just to get more people to buy the game. The game kept the zombie hordes in, which is a huge checkmark. The other thing is the difficulty. Many games are far too easy even on high difficulty settings and they never punish you. This game is not afraid to do that, another big checkmark. Now in terms of performance, there is a little bit to be desired. Character models won't load, or they overpower you by T-posing as soon as you get near them and then fade away. Frame rate drops are rare, but you will most likely encounter some. In my playthrough, I had more as I got near the end of the game, but that may just have been a coincidence. The worst thing was that on the first boss, I was able to beat it easily because of a glitch. It took away all of the intensity. I'm playing on PS4, not PS4 Pro, so PS4 Pro players should have better luck. A lot of people have reported many more bugs than I ever encountered, so maybe I'm one of the lucky ones in this case. Loading times are not GTA long, but are longer than most games. Another big thumbs down for me was the black screen transition between gameplay and cutscenes, something I haven't seen for a while. What's even weirder is that most cutscenes end in a frame close to how the third-person camera is framed during gameplay, which makes you think it will transition smoothly, but it doesn't. Perhaps they were meaning to have this mechanic in the final game, but it didn't turn out that way. I had no idea what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised. The game keeps its promises and adds a fresh take on the zombie apocalypse scenario. Gameplay is nothing too outstanding, but works for the game. The story shines, but so do the bugs. Overall, I would give this game a 7.5 out of 10. The game could have reached an 8 out of 10 with better character writing and development, as well as side missions that added more value to the overall story and experience. In terms of the $80 price tag that all games are equipped with now, I don't think Days Gone lives up to that price tag, but it's rare to find a game that does. To get your money's worth, I would wait for a sale. I wanted to end on a note that touches on video game reviews in general, especially in these last 2 years. There's been a lot of video game reviews that have to do with politics somehow, and the game is going to be rated off of the types of politics it has in this game. I think Days Gone fell victim to this whole cycle, as it does have zombies in the game that are basically children, which people have a problem with. There's also reviews saying that the game is really whitewashed. So I caution you to read and listen to your video game reviews carefully, as some of these tactics aren't in your face and are a lot more subtle. What I'm trying to say is that this game is not as bad as a lot of the reviews are pushing it out to be. And let's not forget that a certain company that will remain unnamed in this video gave Fortnite a 9.6 out of 10 while giving this game a 6 out of 10. Be careful with your reviews and have a good day.